7 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
Let's make the complicated simple.
Colin Cowherd.
Are you ready?
Colin Cowherd.
Well, you know how this works, right?
The most interesting man in sports.
We're confusing interesting with great.
Because when he's right, he's right.
A sports and entertainment prodigy.
And when he's wrong, he's also right.
New information equals new opinion.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Making your mornings right. Weekdays at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details.
Defending champion South Carolina and UCLA have already punched their tickets to the women's Final Four Friday in Tampa. Trying to join them tonight, two other number one seeds. USC meets UConn, while Texas tangles with TCU. I'm Erica Rodriguez, Fox Sports 940 Miami.
Broadcasting live from the Fox Sports 940 Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Sanchez rockets one out to right center. He admires his work, and he leaves the yard.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
Pitch to Connor Norby, ripped on the ground. That's a fair ball in the third base line. That got all the way into the corner. First pitch to Matt Mervis, left on left. He drills out to right and deep, and Mervis, 93 center cut, and Mervis did not miss it.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins, and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
Nice job, Julian. Welcome. Live from Lone Depot Park here on a Monday night in the Magic City. Great way to start your week. You're listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio. Game 5 of 162. And after 3 walk-off wins to take 3 out of 4 against the Pirates, Miami became the 5th team to ever have their first 3 victories come via the walk-off since the 2003 Devil Rays. Now, they welcome a team that after losing to the Dodgers in the NLCS last year, added one of the best bats in baseball in Juan Soto. These two teams will see each other 6 times over the next 10 days. And tonight we bring you game 1 of this 3-game NL East clash between the 1-2 New York Mets and your 3-1 Miami Marlins. David Peterson, 29-year-old southpaw, coming off a phenomenal 2024. Will get the ball for the first time in 2025. Peterson will go opposite Cal Quantrill, who will make his Marlins debut 2 decades after his father, Paul, finished his career with 6 games for the Fish in 2005. It all starts at 6:40 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. Hi, everyone. Thanks for making Marlins on Deck a part of your Monday night with Jack McMullen and 4-time World Series champion Jeff Nelson. I'm Steven Strom. Got an awesome show ahead of you. We will have Clayton McCullough, who will join us later in the program to preview this series and also some of his favorite memories, even the first couple days into the season. We'll get you out of the count with David Peterson and Cal Quantrill, plus some injury updates as well. Nelly is with us throughout the week with pregame, so he will join with Jack as well. Expo question of the day at Marlins Radio and Steve's guarantee to Victor. You know what's better than 2 walk-off wins? 3. And this time, it was capitalizing on a wild pitch in the 9th from David Bednar with Derek Hill at third, tied up at 2.
2-1. That kicks away from Rodriguez. Hill breaks for the plate. There will be no throw. And on a wild pitch, the Marlins walk it off again. What a weekend in Miami. And what a start to the season for these Fighting Fish.
All right, so that was Jack McMullen. Now, again, this is the first time in 22 years that a team has captured their first wins of the season via the walk-off. We mentioned the Rays. Miami also became the first team with 3 walk-off wins in their first series of the season since the 1901 Detroit Tigers. Here was Derek Hill after the dramatic victory.
Little fish frenzy out there. I'm going to call it that. Or a little Marlins mayhem, whatever you want to call it. But boys are just out here competing, just trying to show the world that we're not no pushover.
And that was Derek Hill. How about Derek Hill's start to the season? Batting .333, playing a great center field. He will bat 4th and play center against the lefty and David Peterson. It has been so exciting. If you wanted drama, well, you signed up for it and you got it the first couple of days. The Marlins beat the Pirates 3 out of 4 games. Now they open up a series against the Mets before they head to Atlanta. And then again, this is the first of 6 over the next 10 against the New York Mets. So an early NL East clash with some implications as well. David Peterson, again, will toe the rubber. We'll go opposite Cal Quantrill. We'll have more on that in a little bit. Let's break. We will get Clayton McCullough on next. Preview game 1 of this 3-game set between the Marlins and the Mets. 6:40 first pitch right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
ADT is the official guy. Slugged over 400, had a 290 batting average. And he's kind of picking up where he left off last year. 1-0 pitch. Edwards hits that deep enough. Out to left. Ji-Hwan Bae underneath. He makes the catch. Fortes trying it. Ji-Hwan Bae's throw coming home. And it's a little bit offline. Fortes comes in to score. And he ties the game at 1. Inning. Runs may come in here in the 6th. Marlins threatening. And Derek Hill lines one out to right center field. Sawinski on his horse. He won't get there. That one hops over the wall, and it's an RBI double to tie the game at 2. By any ball in the outfield, X is scoring, and that one is soft liner into center for a base hit. X coming around. Cruz's throw is coming home, and the same mistake from opening day. Otto Lopez takes second base. X was scoring no problem. He can fly, and the opportunistic Otto Lopez not only ties this game, but is now in scoring position. Well, you've got Santa Rosa Junior College, 20th round pick of the Royals in 2016. And Sawinski cracks one out to left field. The newly inserted left fielder Conine is back. Warning track and the wall. He leaps. Griffin Conine makes the grab. You're kidding me. He took a homer away from Sawinski. Pitch, that's rolled right side, that's through for a base hit. Pham gonna try it from third. Throw coming home from Myers. It's on line. Hicks swipes the tag, and they got him. No! In the bottom of the 7th, it's an RBI single from Otto Lopez to tie it at 3. 1-2 pitch, that's rolled right side, that's through for a base hit. Pham gonna try it from third. Throw coming home from Myers.
Now or visit wernerhoffman.com. Let's win this together.
Couple news and notes before we get into Clayton McCullough. Welcome to the Marlins Hot Stephen Strom, Jack McClellan, Jeff Nelson. Those two have your call at 6:40. It's game 1 of this 3-game set between the Miami Marlins and New York Mets. No Francisco Lindor in the starting lineup here tonight. He could come off the bench in a pinch hitting situation. He did just welcome in a new baby boy. Congratulations to him and his wife. But he is not in the starting lineup tonight. The usual suspects, though, are for the New York Mets: Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, etc. A righty-heavy lineup for Miami going up against David Peterson, who had a fantastic 2024, hoping to carry that over into 2025. Okay, as always, to get you ready for each series. So game 1, we sit down with the manager, Clayton McCullough, and here he was, Clayton, on tonight's game, the walk-off wins, and much more. First of 3 here with the Mets. Did you shave? Did you shave after 3 walk-off wins?
Yeah, I did shave. I feel it was just I shaved. I got on a different pair of pants for batting practice today, so I don't want to
say. Would you do such a thing?
I know. We'll see. So it'll be this one's on me today. If we don't get a walk-off win, I guess that's on me for shaving and changing my attire.
What was your favorite walk-off to start this campaign?
Opening day was special because it's opening day. Like everything that goes into that. Our group that was really cool. Really happy for Stowie. Yesterday, like for Griffin Conine to hit that home run, right? On the day that his dad goes into the Marlins Hall of Fame, and then for it to kind of how quickly it happened with infield hit, stolen base, wild pitch, like wow, it was almost like did that just really happen? So there were a lot of cool moments, but for me, opening day was probably just for the timing of it.
From one father-son duo to another, we'll see Cal Quantrill. His father, Paul, obviously pitched with the Marlins. First time he'll make his Marlins debut. He talked about the adjustment from altitude to sea level. What does that mean, and what can we see different in his arsenal, you think, here in Miami?
Yeah, I think the way just the pitches react, how they just react. Specifically like spin. It's just hard sometimes in altitude to get your breaking stuff to react the same way. So then you try to create pitches that somewhat just allow you to survive, in a tough environment like Colorado. I think he feels like he's got the spin to his pitches back. split finger is a good weapon for him, and his velocity trended up through spring training. So like Cal he's got weapons. He knows how to pitch. He's not going to back down. He's going to have some real game awareness. So I think as much probably that altitude. One is like fatigue and just how you recover is a big part of that as well, and then just your pitch to be able to react more like you'd expect them to. Is a big thing.
Quantrill will go opposite David Peterson, who came off just an incredible 2024, 2.9 ERA, one of the best pitchers in the National League. What's the challenge to him here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's good extension. The fastball plays up. So, our right hand, we're just going to, need to try to get him on the plate, avoid some of the chase and off the plate, both right and left. So try to get him up out over the plate, stay back through the middle of the field, kind of more, take your knocks, try to be stubborn in the strike zone. Let slug present itself.
Clayton McCullough with us now. We are 4 games in. It is early. You talked and you preached about plate discipline. You're top 10 in walks. You're seeing just under 4 pitches per plate appearance. What are some of the things that you're looking to have carry over from Pittsburgh into New York?
Very much that. It's like, it's not to go up there with a passive approach. It's that you're going to be, you're ready to hit, right from first pitch. If that's the best one you get, be ready to fire, but be zoned in and disciplined to what you're looking to fire at. Kind of know where the areas where, their pitcher has a chance to win. Where's he going to get some chase? Where's he going to try to go? Just being okay with if a guy makes a real high quality pitch early in the bat, that you're okay taking it and live to kind of stay through the at bat and wait him out, get a mistake, or at least, battle long enough to, have him work for the next guy to have a good chance.
Last one on the Mets, and it would be irresponsible not to talk about El Torpedo, I guess is Lenny's new nickname, but we'll get to that in a second. You're seeing this Mets team 6 times over the next 10 days. Take me in the manager's chair. Is there anything you got to be protective of, especially going up against one of the best, I think, in Carlos Mendoza?
Yeah, Carlos is, very impressive. This guy, very smart, did an amazing job with that group last year, getting into the NLCS. It's a good roster, and they're well prepared. And I think with this, we just look at it like we know we got to go into this. What we need to do as a group, like how do we prepare to win tonight's game, independent of the opponent, so much of who it is, and okay, what is it going to take for us to win? What are things that we need to do, try to continue to do well that's going to give us chances to win? Knowing that a major league game, like the margin for error is small.
What was it like seeing Lenny get some media attention today?
Yeah, well deserved, right? This guy Lenny is awesome, and he's behind the scenes a lot. He doesn't. I don't know if he likes the attention, but today was Lenny's day to shine nationwide. And cool. Lenny's extremely intelligent. To even have the foresight to think through, to be able to do that to a bat and out. I'm well beyond my intelligence. Is why great to have Lenny on our staff. Helping out.
Thanks for the time, Clayton.
Okay, thanks for having me.
All right. Excellent stuff right there with Clayton McCullough. Thank you very much for joining me. And it has been incredible the last couple of days following this torpedo bat story. And in our backyard here is Marlins field coordinator Aaron Lenny Leanhart. We are seeing a bunch of the New York Yankee hitters using it, and it's working. And now we're starting to discover that possibly can the Marlins bring this into their organization. We shall see. But good stuff with Clayton McCullough. It's going to be fun. Look, you start off a season 3-1. You bring in the Mets in town, and Francisco Lindor, again, is not going to play here tonight. You just roll the dice every single day. You got to take it day by day. We see what happens with Cal Quantrill. He'll go opposite David Peterson, but it's fun. The first couple of games have been absolutely tough to put a word on it. They've been astounding. To get your first 3 victories in walk-off fashion, you can't make some of this stuff up. So it's been fun. We continue this ride here tonight at 6:40. Let's break. We'll get you ahead of the count with Quantrill and Peterson. This is Marlins on Deck. Be right back in 2 minutes on the Marlins Radio Network.
Upgrade your family vacation with
guy slugged over 400, had a 290 batting average. 6 fielder's choice. Hill aboard in the first pitch to Nick Fortes. This line down the left field line. That gets in. It's a fair ball. Pham tracking that towards the wall. Hill can really motor. He's around third. Throw is late towards the plate, and it's an RBI double for the guy that cannot stop hitting. Nick Fortes, his 3rd extra base hit in his 3rd game, and the Marlins tied at 1 in the second. Pitch. 1-2. Conine lifts out to left field. Tommy Pham working back to the warning track. So is Sawinski. They look up, and it's gone. Griffin Conine to left center. A shot the other way on the day his dad is inducted. And we're tied at 2 in the 7th. 2-1. That kicks away from Rodriguez. Hill breaks for the plate. There will be no throw. And on a wild pitch, the Marlins walk it off again.
Derek Hill here with us now. Third walk-off win. What the heck's going on?
Little fist frenzy out there. I'm going to call it that. Or a little Marlins mayhem, whatever you want to call it. But boys are just out here competing, just trying to show the world that we're not no pushover.
What are you trying to read out there on the bases, specifically when you're at third?
Honestly, at third, right there, we were seeing it through, but we do a bunch of early work, just getting those good reads. Got to credit the coaching staff for keeping us on point.
What was that moment like, seeing Griffin Conine hit that home run in front of his dad, who was inducted into the Legends Hall of Fame? Derek Hill, for our audience that are on radio, Connor Norby just gave him a nice water shower.
That's cool.
This is Anthony Bender, and you're listening to Marlins on Deck with Steven Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
Well, thank you, AB, Anthony Bender. Probably we'll see him later in tonight's game. The Marlins are in a good situation with their bullpen. Baxmeyer yesterday going 5 2/3. Good position here tonight for Cal Quantrill and company to make his Marlins debut. He will go opposite David Peterson, Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, Jeff Nelson, 6:40 first pitch. This is game 1 of 3 here. Marlins took 3 out of 4 against the Pirates. Before we get you ahead of the count, let's do some medical updates. Edward Cabrera is set to begin a rehab assignment with Jacksonville tomorrow. Declan Cronin has resumed throwing. Braxton Garrett continues his rehab from surgery. Andrew Nardi continues to improve with his rehab. He will start to throw in a program today. Connor Norby, who's been out with that oblique issue, has progressed into baseball activities today. And how about this? Yuri Perez set to throw to hitters for the first time tomorrow in a live BP session. Jesus Sanchez, also an oblique issue, continues his baseball progressions. Jesus Tinoco is still out with that low back strain. And Ryan Weathers will be ramping up his throwing progressions this week. So that's getting you up to date on the injury front. Let's get you ahead of the count now. Interesting storyline for both these guys. David Peterson looking to carry over what he did in 24 into 25, 29-year-old southpaw. Drafted with the 20th pick in the first round in 2017 by the New York Mets. He debuted in 2020. We talked about his last year. 10-3, a 2.9 ERA over 21 starts, 121 frames. He had a solid spring this year, 2-1, a 0.57 ERA, 15 2/3 over 3 starts. And last year, again, the Mets won 10 of his 21 starts. Peterson was actually on the shelf to start the season last year due to that hip injury. He had to get hip surgery, so he was out for the first couple of months, but he performed like one of the best arms in the National League. His 2.90 ERA was the 6th best in the National League, and Peterson won both of his starts against Miami, even though he didn't pitch particularly well. He allowed 6 runs over 10 combined innings across 2 starts against Miami. Peterson will go opposite Cal Quantrill, 6'3", 195-pound right-hander, making his Marlins debut after signing a 1-year, $3.5 million deal back on February 12th. We talked a little bit about his 2024 with Colorado. Tough place to pitch. 8-11, a 4.98 ERA over 28 starts, 148 1/3 innings pitched. The big thing with Quantrill is he struggled with his command. He walked an NL high 69 batters. He was up and down in spring, 3-0, a 5.9 ERA, 4 starts, veteran guy, 10 2/3. You got to trust that he was working on some stuff. He has pitched at this level for multiple years. His primary pitch last year, I think this is the most interesting part about Quantrill, was his split finger. He had to do it, of course, with the altitude issue. He threw that split at 31%. Opponents hit just 204 against him. He'll face just 3 lefty bats in the lineup tonight. No Lindor, again, he will not start. He is available off the bench. But it'll be interesting, and I'm going to ask Jeff Nelson this, what his arsenal will look like now being at sea level. What will it look like for Cal Quantrill? Can he find some success? Because this guy has been really good at points in his career, specifically in Cleveland. We'll see if he can recapture that here in 2025 with Miami. So that's your matchup on the mound, David Peterson and Cal Quantrill. We will break on the other side. Jeff Nelson, Jack McMullen, they join me next on the Marlins Radio Network.
Visit
This guy slugged over 400, had a 290 batting average He's kind of picking up where he left off last year. 1-0 pitch. Edwards hits that deep enough. Out to left. Ji-Hwan Bae underneath. He makes the catch. Fortes trying it. Ji-Hwan Bae's throw coming home. And it's a little bit offline. Fortes comes in to score. And he ties the game at 1. Inning. Runs may come in here in the 6th. Marlins threatening. And Derek Hill lines one out to right center field. Sawinski on his horse. He won't get there. That one hops over the wall, and it's an RBI double to tie the game at 2. Any ball in the outfield. X is scoring, and that one is soft liner into center for a base hit. X coming around. Cruz's throw is coming home, and the same mistake from opening day. Otto Lopez takes second base. X was scoring no problem. He can fly, and the opportunistic Otto Lopez not only ties this game, but is now in scoring position. Well, you've got Santa Rosa Junior College, 20th round pick of the Royals in 2016. And Sawinski cracks one out to left field. The newly inserted left fielder Conine is back. Warning track and the wall. He leaps. Griffin Conine makes the grab. You're kidding me. He took a homer away from Sawinski. Pitch, that's rolled right side, that's through for a base hit. Pham gonna try it from third. Throw coming home from Myers. It's on line. Hicks swipes the tag, and they got him. No. In the bottom of the 7th, it's an RBI single from Otto Lopez to tie it at 3. 1-2 pitch, that's rolled right side, that's through for a base hit. Pham gonna try it from third. Throw coming home from Myers. It's on line. Hicks swipes the tag, and they got him. No way. Look at the former pitcher. Back here on the Marlins Radio Network. This is Marlins on Deck. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, Jeff Nelson. Game 1 of this 3-game set. What a start to the season for Miami, taking 3 out of 4, not just against Pittsburgh, but all 3 victories coming via the walk-off. Jeff Nelson back in the fold. Great to have you aboard, man. Nelly, let's start with Cal Quantrill. Altitude to sea level. How's that going to open up possibly his arsenal here in 25?
Well, you look at last year, and what was his most used pitch in Colorado was a split, because the breaking ball doesn't break as well as much as it does in other stadiums because of the high altitude. So
Sure.
I see that pitch being, not being less used, but I think his fastball is going to be more used. You'll see more of his curveball and maybe the cutter, and maybe that split will be like a third pitch or a go-to pitch maybe when he needs it, but not nearly use as much as he did last year, because you're basically fastball split. You need to find something to get out hitters when you don't have that break on your breaking ball.
We'll come back to the pitching in a second. Jack McMullen, how are you, sir? Everything good? Your voice is all right?
I'm good. Yeah, I stopped by a local convenience store, got some lozenges,
Good.
got some cough drops, and we're ready to go again.
Very good. Let's talk about the offense. I brought this up with Clayton. The Marlins are seeing less than 4 pitches. I actually was surprised by that number, 3.98 pitches per AB. They're 8th in the NL in that ranking, again, so early on. 9th in baseball in walks with 15. What does that tell you?
Yeah, I mean, it tells me that they have made a concentrated effort to change the narrative around the Miami Marlins organization from last year. You know, this was a team that was not walking. It was chasing a lot. So I actually think pitches per plate appearance can be a little bit misleading, because if you get a pitch to hammer it in pitch number 1 or pitch number 2 of an at-bat, you don't want to miss that. You know, Max Muncy, he sees a bunch of pitches per plate appearance. Okay, but he's 1 for 18 right now with 9 strikeouts. So it's like, okay, that's my big thought when it comes to pitches per plate appearance. I look at things like, hey, how many pitches are you swinging at that are outside the strike zone? And the Marlins are doing really well in that category. And that's what we saw them focus on all spring long. You swing at strikes. You do not swing at balls. It sounds so simple, much like this torpedo bat. You just put more wood where guys make contact more often. But again, way easier said than done, and they're doing it.
Let's get into the series here tonight. And Nelly, you're with the Yankees. You saw Soto last year. We know how good he is. How do you pitch to this guy?
Well, I think you got to get him up and in. And really, if you get behind him, you start looking at guys behind him like Alonso. You know, okay, I don't want to have this guy beat me. You go up and down the lineup. Last year, you had Judge and Soto in that lineup.
Right.
So, you had to pick your poison, and Judge wound up winning the MVP. If he didn't win it, Soto probably could have won the MVP. But now you're saying, would I rather face Alonso or face Soto in a crucial situation? I'm probably going more Alonso in that regard. But Soto, he has such a great eye. He makes everyone around him better. He's one of the best hitters in baseball. I mean, he doesn't have the uppercut. He has a nice even swing, nice level swing. He's very dangerous in his zone because he knows the strike zone so well. He's a very difficult out. I think you can get him in and then maybe go away. Look at Quantrill to use that split maybe away. Fastballs in, maybe split away. Mix in a cutter every once in a while to try to jam him. But again, you get behind and he's going to hurt you. Solo shots don't hurt you. 2-3 runners will. I'd rather go to Alonso.
And, Jack, we're going to see Juan Soto a lot over the next week. 6 times in the next 10 days, the Marlins and Mets will face off. What do you think Clayton McCullough and the coaching staff should be aware of on the side?
I think they should know that this lineup can get deep quickly, but the good news is, I guess the good news for the Marlins, the bad news for the Mets is they're missing 2 key cogs in that lineup both times that the Marlins will see the Mets early on this year. They are without Francisco Alvarez, who had that hamate issue. He had surgery to remove it. We will not see him when the Marlins go to New York next time. Same deal with Jeff McNeil, an oblique issue. He's kind of on the same timeline that we see with Jesus Sanchez and Connor Norby, so you assume that he will not be playing against the Marlins when the Marlins do go to New York as well next week. So no McNeil, no Alvarez. This lineup can get deep. They will see a deeper lineup for the Mets a little bit later on in the year, but you've got to prioritize the front 5 in that lineup, and then you deal with Torrens and Siri. It's not a break because no Major League Baseball player is a break in a lineup, but this is a top-heavy monster here.
That was Jack McMullen. That's Jeff Nelson. Those two have your call in about 15 minutes. Good stuff, guys. Still to come, Steve's Guaranteed a Victory Expo question. It's all next, 6:40 first pitch, right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
6 fielder's choice. Hill aboard in the first pitch to Nick Fortes. This line down the left field line. That gets in. It's a fair ball. Pham tracking that towards the wall. Hill can really motor. He's around third. Throw is late towards the plate, and it's an RBI double for the guy that cannot stop hitting. Nick Fortes, his 3rd extra base hit in his 3rd game, and the Marlins tied at 1 in the second pitch. 1-2. Conine lifts out to left field. Tommy Pham working back to the warning track. So is Sawinski. They look up, and it's gone. Griffin Conine to left center. A shot the other way on the day his dad is inducted. And we're tied at 2 in the 7th. 2-1. That kicks away from Rodriguez. Hill breaks for the plate. There will be no throw. And on a wild pitch, the Marlins walk it off again.
Derek Hill here with us now. 3rd walk-off win. What the heck's going on?
Little fist frenzy out there. I'm going to call it that. Or a little Marlins mayhem, whatever you want to call it. But boys are just out here competing, just trying to show the world that we're not no pushover.
What are you trying to read out there on the bases, specifically when you're at 3rd?
Honestly, at 3rd, right there, we are seeing it through, but we do a bunch of early work, just getting those good reads. Got to credit the coaching staff for keeping us on point.
What was that moment like, seeing Griffin Conine hit that home run in front of his dad, who was inducted into the Legends Hall of Fame?
Package, including unlimited open bar, specialty dining, and more. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Offer ends soon. Norwegian Cruise Line. Ships registry the Bahamas and USA. Restrictions apply.
About 13 minutes away from first pitch between the Marlins and the Mets. Cal Quantrill will make his Marlins debut here this afternoon, or tonight rather. He'll go opposite the southpaw David Peterson, who was fabulous last year, pitching to a 2.9 ERA. Let's get to our X-Poll question of the day at Marlins Radio. Who is the last team to start their season with 3 walk-off wins? If you were listening, you should know it. It's time for Steve's Guarantee.
Batter up. Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's Guarantees.
All right, follow me, folks. I like Dane Myers and Javier Sanoja both to have 2+ hits. Dane Myers, 5 for 12 to start the year, 2 RBIs. He hits lefties very well, especially going the other way. Javier Sanoja hit 291 in AAA last year. But the thing I love about Sanoja, he doesn't K. He doesn't strike out. He struck out just 30 times in 492 plate appearances. He puts the ball in play, and he is fast, a jitterbug. He's got some crazy speed. I like Dane Myers and Javier Sanoja, both sort of batting towards the end of this lineup. The Marlins need to lengthen it. Dane Myers playing in right field, batting 7th, and Javier Sanoja playing left field and batting 8th. Folks, I hope you got the itch for first pitch, because when we come back, Jack McMullen, he paints the picture. Jeff Nelson, he's ready to rock. Starting lineups in first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins On Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together, Miami. Marlins baseball is next. This is the Marlins Radio Network.